Thanks for staying with us. We're back with some breaking news. US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania have tested positive for COVID-19. This comes in the middle of the campaign in the run-up to the US presidential elections. Donald Trump taking to Twitter, confirming, and I quote, "Tonight, me and the First Lady have tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together," unquote. Abhishek, my colleague, also joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, indeed a setback as far as the ongoing campaign is concerned. One of his closest aides tested positive. Following that, now both US President Donald Trump and the First Lady too have tested positive for COVID-19.
Well, absolutely. It could not have been worse so far as timing of President Trump getting COVID is concerned. Christine, and just a couple of hours back, he had tweeted about Hope Hicks, who works around in the White House, testing positive. And both President Trump and First Lady Melania, they had also tested, and now the tests have turned positive. Campaign-wise, on two levels, it's going to harm the Trump campaign. One, because the president cannot move around and it has to follow the quarantine guidelines. So that affects his, physical presence in those big events and rallies that are associated typically with the Trump campaign. And on the another level, he would be more open to attack from the Democrats because one of the campaign issues so far as Democrats are concerned has been the manner in which the Trump administration has really handled the panning out of the pandemic in the United States, with the U.S. Accounting for the largest number of deaths in the world for any nation. So to that extent, it's a sort of double whammy. Could not have been worse so far as timing is concerned. And you can expect that while there would be those typical concerns tweeted about President Trump taking care of himself and President Trump coming out of it, it does provide another handle in the hands of Democrats, really, to kind of make a campaign issue of the manner in which the Trump administration has really handled the panning out of COVID pandemic in the United States.
Oh, yes. And that's the point I was coming to, Abhishek. Just 1 month away from the elections, so the timing certainly becomes extremely critical, and in that sense it certainly is a setback for the Donald Trump administration. But as far as the point that you raised, the opposition Democrats certainly are going to use this as a tool against Donald Trump, because they have time and again highlighted how Donald Trump has over the last few months downplayed the entire situation as far as COVID-19 is concerned.
Well, yes. So even as President Trump himself maintains that he has handled the crisis really well and possibly better than what the Democrats did, for example, with H1N1 or the swine flu. But what is important is both on the issue of timing, and also given the fact that the United States accounts for the highest number of deaths due to COVID. Also, remember, Christine, the first presidential debate that took place yesterday, moderated by Chris Wallace of Fox News. Of the 6 segments in which the entire 1-hour debate was divided between President Trump and Vice President Joe Biden, the Democratic presidential candidate, one issue was COVID itself. So, that is the importance or relevance of the subject. And in that backdrop, in the midst of this very high-voltage campaign, where the stakes are very high for Donald Trump, for him to be testing COVID positive, really provides Democrats to really up the ante so far as their position on COVID-19 and the handling of that pandemic by the Trump administration is concerned. So I believe we have not seen the end of it. It's going to really ratchet up from here on. And the first reactions are still awaited. President Trump was in fact going to be interviewed by Fox News later in the evening. Or in the morning, according to U.S. time, but tonight actually, as per U.S. time also. What is important is that whether that interview is going to happen, because that would have provided Donald Trump an opportunity to add one more perspective to what he thinks of him testing positive. But then you can bet that it's going to be the story for the United States media all through the day, particularly the liberal media, led by CNN, perhaps, of cornering Donald Trump on his handling of the pandemic over the last few months, now that he himself and his wife have tested positive in the White House.
Absolutely. And though as of now we don't have any confirmation on any changes in the campaign schedule, but certainly we're waiting for some sort of an official confirmation on that as well. Many thanks, Abhishek, for joining us with the latest details and sharing that perspective. And back to the